Okay, so welcome everybody to our weekly town hall. Before we begin, we just want to bring your attention to a couple upcoming programs that we have. December 11th, um, this coming Saturday, Masterclass 2 on the Paramitas, 610 and beyond. And then on January 8th, we have a day-long virtual retreat, which will be really a wonderful opportunity, and it's on Tibetan mindfulness and kindfulness, awakening the mind, opening the heart, compassion in action. So please join us for those programs, and without further ado, Lama, please take it away.
Thank you, Ben. Nice to see you all. What a beautiful day to get together. Mindfulness and kindfulness. I like that. That's a good subject. I'd like to learn more and practice that myself. We hear so much about the mind. Let's not forget about the kind and all kinds. Well, today is a day of rest, the Sabbath, in some traditions. Let's take rest. The ancient Indian Upanishad, the scripture, basic root scripture of Hinduism, 4,000 years old, says rest is sacred. We don't hear enough about that in our Protestant ethic. Manifest destiny, progress-oriented, materialistic, postmodern era. Rest is sacred. We've all heard how stressed people are today, how sleep deprived, or people having sleep issues for various reasons. So let's learn to relax and take rest. Breathing is a great portal to peace, calm, serenity, tranquility, harmony. Not just quiet, but peace. There's a difference. Being at peace, content, fulfilled, relaxed, trusting. We always think trust relates to something outer. That's fine. Let's put a little Buddhist perspective on it. How about trusting yourself? Trusting just being as you are. Trusting this moment as it is and just allowing, just letting go, just relaxing into it. The holy now. Being wholly and entirely present in the holy now, the sacred now, the eternal instant, the golden eternity, as Jack Kerouac called it on the road, the golden eternity from his mystic experience. One great, transparent, divine eyeball, as Ralph Waldo Emerson called it, the first American philosopher, my erstwhile neighbor here in Concord, Mass, the Puritan state, the pilgrim state of mind. Let's join together on that road, the great way of awakening. Not later, but now, the way of wakefulness, rather than somnolence. Rest in, trust in, rely on the now-ness of just being, not doing, becoming, achieving, learning. Just for the moment, we're not simpletons, but for the moment, let's balance our self-improvement projects, our feeding the mind projects, our getting ahead, or even selfing and empire building projects. Balance it with just being human beings for a while rather than human doings and becomings. Just being, settling back into our Buddha seat, No need to strap in. There's no G-force here. Resting in the still center of the turning wheel, the still axis, not the turning axle, but the still axis of the wheel of time, the Kala Chakra Tantra, the wheel of cosmos, the turning universe, the great mandala of being, the great hologram. That's all center. Everywhere is center. No circumference, no periphery, no outside and inside. In your heart center. Aligning yourself from the zenith to the nadir. The erect spine. An erect attention. Have an attention erection. That would do for now. Stand up and see, if not sing. Like the Zen master who used to call himself to attention by saying his name. Hakusai. He would say Hakusai, and then he would answer, Hi! Like in school, they would say our name, we'd say present. Hi! That's a wakefulness. Like a bird electrified on a wire, as one of my Tibetan lamas used to joke. Ah! That's quite a moment of total awareness. Let's not get into the death part of it. Ah! This breath, only breath. This moment, only moment. Breathing, relaxing and smiling. Not taking ourselves so goddamn seriously. That means you. I'm not going to mention your names. Leslie, to protect the guilty. I see you. Lama knows all, every thought in your mind, not. Breathing, relaxing, smiling, attending, fully accredited, present and accountable. You want to be in the divine presence? Be present. God is always here. Where are you? Elsewhere, distracted or wandering around in the past and future? Just breathing. Have I mentioned this yet? Just breathing, relaxing, smiling. If you want to get more advanced, Mel, breathing, relaxing, centering, focusing, smiling. 5 steps to wholeness, to oneness, to alignment, to harmony. How to F the inevitable, to the great peace of nirvana. Flow. Calm and clear. Eyes like ice, heart afire. Breathe, relax, center, focus, smile. Assume your Buddha seat. Rest, rely and trust in the now. Trust in just being as is, as you are, as yourself with a capital S that includes the small self too, no problem. Figure ground shift. Let's bring our best self to the front burner. With our small self rest in the back, simmering for now. Our ego, our healthy adult ego, an individuated self. Bring the transpersonal supreme self to the front burner. Just being yourself. Super monk nun with a capital S. Beyond lifestyle, in the true nature. The inner light, the clear light of divinity, the inner spark, the inner Christos, the Buddha nature. By any name, it's even more sweet than the word. Tathagata Garbha, Buddha-ness, Buddha nature. Intrinsic, inherent, universal Buddha nature. The inner light, as the Quaker founder George Fox called it. Look it up. The divine light, as Hindus call it. Just focusing on breathing like we learned last week. Breath awareness, aware of breathing in while inhaling, letting everything else go by, concentrating on the out breath while exhaling, and letting everything else go by, all the flotsam and jetsam on the river of experience, mere ripples in the stream of consciousness, breath awareness, concentration on breathing, anapanasati, basic Buddhist meditation, concentration, calm abiding, the calm and clear, focusing, attention span extending, strengthening our inner concentration muscle, our mental muscle, a focused awareness, good for any task. Watch the breathing, feel the breathing in your nostrils, or at your diaphragm, wherever you can feel it. Just feeling, nothing to interpret or understand, pure perception. In hearing, just hearing, as Buddha said, nothing to listen to, no one hearing it. In seeing, just seeing, nothing to look at or for, no one seeing it. Just pure process. Just seeing, just hearing, just feeling, just sensing, just touching the physical sensations in the body, just smelling, just tasting. Naturalness is the way, the truth, and the light, the life. Dzogchen Master Longchenpa sang, the six senses left in their natural state is the way of the natural great perfection, Dzogchen. The luminous great completeness, Dzogchen. Natural meditation. And enjoy the joy of natural meditation. Nowness, the Buddha within. Imaho. Way to go. Thank you. The Venerable Master Thich Nhat Hanh says, breathing in, quieting my mind, breathing out, relaxing, smiling. That's a good couplet, shloka couplet to remember. Breathing in, calming, clearing the mind. Breathing out, relaxing and smiling. How sweet it is. Simple yet deep. Imaho. Wondrous, miraculous. Eureka. Swaha. Amen. Breathing in, calming and clearing the mind. Breathing out, relaxing, opening, smiling. Letting go. Letting come and go. Letting be. Ha ha ha, hee hee. Go with the flow, Joe. It goes right through you. You don't need to try to get into it. Trust in yourself. Just being natural as is. Leave it as it is and rest the weary heart and mind. See through everything and be free. Watching the breath, concentrating on the breath, observing the breathing process, the breath, the inhalation, the exhalation, not thinking about what it means. It's more like an exercise, strengthening the muscle concentration, extending your attention span, sharpening your focus of awareness, watching, observing, sensing, feeling the breath moving in with the inhalation, feeling it. I like to feel it in my nostrils, easy to get a hold of and stay with, practical. Feeling the breath in my nostrils while exhaling, focusing the attention, gathering the scattered thought energy, focusing it like a laser beam here, sharpening the tool, sharpening the pencil, sharpening the scalpel to cut deeper, sharpening the attention, to scattered attention energy into a laser beam, concentrating on the breath, cultivating samadhi, meditative absorption, sublime focus, samadhi, concentration, calm and clear, letting the other thoughts go. When the mind wanders, bring it back to the attention to the breath. Mindfulness of breathing, basic Buddhist meditation. This breath, only breath, this moment, only moment, in the whole. Imbibe the sublime food of samadhi, the food of the gods, the fragrance of wholeness, of integration, of oneness. Breath awareness. This breath, only breath, attend to it. This breath, this moment, only moment. Be here now, as they say. Where else could you be anyway? Don't fool yourself. Relax into it, no strain. great yogi Saraha said, as the Fletcher straightens out his arrows, focus, concentration straightens out the mind. So let's look into this calm and clear. Breathing in, calming and clearing the mind, my mind, however you put it. Breathing out, relaxing, opening, smiling, letting everything go, dropping everything. Letting go means letting things come and go, letting be, unclenching the tight fist of separateness of ego. Open and aware, present and accountable. Mindful rather than mindless, conscious rather than unconscious or semi-conscious. Openness and awareness inseparable. Panoramic awareness, total awareness, infinite awareness, awareness aware of awareness. Ah, how sweet it is, Imaho. Way to go. Thank you. Now close your eyes if they've been open and go deeper. Focus inward. Gaze into the light. Become the light. Focus on the light in front of your eyes. I'm not going to mention the third eye. In front of your eyes, where your eyebrows meet. Don't get cross-eyed. Just gaze into the light. See how not dark it is in there. Gaze into the light. Concentrate on the light rather than breathing. Now the light, the inner light, the clear light of the mind, the inner light is the object of attention rather than breath. Breath is the object of attention that we pay attention to, that we watch. Focus on the light, concentrate on the light, watch the light, look into the light, breathe out into the light, breathe in out of the light, become the light, be light, lighten up and lighten up, illumine, get yourself, see through your separate self and be free. Gaze into the mirror of emptiness and see the naked face of wakefulness, of innate awareness, of Buddha mind, most true nature, nature of mind, luminous awareness, of pure presence, with or without thoughts and feelings, just cognizance, lucidity, awareness. Gaze into the mirror of emptiness, of subjectivity, mirror of emptiness, and recognize one's true nature, all your projections. See the true face of Buddha, in the mirror of emptiness, the karmic projections, the divine dance of Maya, of illusion. Seeing through, just being through, letting it all go, lightening and brightening up, Illuminati. If you find yourself dozing, take a deep breath, refresh the corpse of wakefulness and start again, fresh, vividly present, attentive, mindful, aware, wakeful, gazing into the light, the inner phosphorescence, the inner iridescence, the clear light of the mind, the lucidity, the luminosity of pure awareness. Not just thought, awareness of thoughts, awareness of feelings, aware of sensations in the body. Awareness is primary, awareness with a capital A plus, Rupa. Awareness is the higher power, the inner power in Buddhism. In the beginning is awareness, without that, nothing. Awareness, aware of awareness, a non-dual, uncompartmentalized wholeness, totality, completeness, the great magic crystal ball of pure presence, God's radiant, transparent eyeball, as Emerson called it. Buddha heart, Buddha mind, awakefulness itself. Right here and now in each and all of us, always accessible, direct portal to enlightenment, awakening now. Imaho. Hear the gong. In hearing is just hearing, nothing to listen for. No one hearing it. Follow the gong sound. Follow the gong, the sound over the event horizon, dissolving. Dissolve with it in spacious, infinite openness and awareness, inseparable. Going, gone beyond, gate, gone, imaho. Connecting and dissolving at the same time. How sweet it is. Imaho. a child in the Montessori school that I was invited to, let's say, teach at one day in Austin, Texas. Said after our little gong meditation, and this was a half hour or 40-minute major league meditation we just did here today. But I gave them a little gong meditation and a little talk and slideshow about Tibet and the Himalayas and the Yeti and mindfulness for kids and things like that, and the Dalai Lama. And then I had a little gong meditation, and you could try this yourself. You ring the gong and ask them to just listen and go with it and, follow it all the way and see what happens. And you know what it says in the good book, from the mouth of babes, meaning the freshness, the innocence of children, can tell, the only one that can tell the emperor has no clothes, see it as it is, not go along with the crowd and tell what they're supposed to tell and even see what they're supposed to see with cognitive dissonance covering, obscuring their pure vision. Seeing what they're supposed to see, not what they do see. So, we ring the gong and we have that 1 minute instant American meditation, gong meditation. And then we had a little talk about it, and the kids were coming and sitting on my lap and climbing on me like Mr. Mountain and all the way kids do. And so we have a little discussion, and little Ryan says, Lama, you have a question? Okay, Ryan, Mr. Ryan, what's the question? He must have been 6 years old or something, or 7. Maybe even 5, I don't know. From the mouths of babies. He says, you said when you listen to gong and you just follow it and you go there and you dissolve there, and you might see something, or God, or Buddha, or feel that. And he said, I didn't see it, God. I was God. That's a true fact. What Ryan said. Who is that innocent and clear and can just say that? The emperor has no clothes. There's no God out there. I am God. Without getting crucified by the inner judges, the inner Pharisees, or even the outer authorities, who throughout history have crucified people for saying such things. Check it out, historical readers. Who can see that and say that, be so free? Only the child in us. First thought, best thought, only thought. This moment, only moment. Can we get upstream from our socialized and conditioned self and thinking? Get back to the pre-conscious awareness state? Anyway, that's a true story. I didn't see God, I didn't find God, I was God, I am God. And it's not like you have to go around saying I'm God and nobody else is. You can see the divine in yourself, you can see it in everyone. That's the point, at least the message of Buddhism. Not one only begotten Son of God. All beings, Buddhas, all beings endowed with the luminous Buddha nature. You can read in half the Zen books in English, all beings are Buddhas. I'm not making this up. It's not just American Buddhism or democratic Buddhism. It's timeless, universal truth. The Christos is in all of us, not just in one historical person named Jesus of Nazareth. So these are profound matters we're talking about, not just breath watching. But breath is life, breath is spirit, inspiration, spirit, expiration when we expire, no more breathing. There's so many levels to this, the outer breath of oxygenation, carbon dioxide, trading places. The inner breath of prana, chi, as in Tai Chi, Qigong, chi, prana, ki in Japanese. Subtle energy in the subtler channels, the nadis, the meridians, whatever you call them. Sa in Tibetan. The inner breath And then the secret breath of awareness itself, of presence, of cognizance, of lucidity. What is the activity of lucidity? And yet lucidity is cognizant of things. These are not words we usually hear. But as they say, the Eskimos have 30 different names for kinds of snow. The Buddhist meditation masters have 30 different names for different shades of awareness and mental states. In fact, it's said in the 2,600-year-old Abhidharma, 1/3 of Buddhist canon, the Abhidharma, the psychophilosophy, the Abhidharma Sutra scripture, it says there's 52 different mental states. So even then, the Buddha was teaching this kind of depth psychology 2,500 years before Freud and Mesmer invented psychology for us in the modern world. So there's a lot to it. Anyway, breath can be the portal. Breathing. It's an important Buddhist practice. Don't leave home without it. So there's a lot we could say about this breath meditation and the other levels of just being, of natural meditation. Let's recall, maybe even jot down, or look into Thich Nhat Hanh's books or websites or YouTubes, wherever you find Thich Nhat Hanism today, calendars, podcasts probably. His shlokas, his little verses for meditation or meditating on, little reminders, his shlokas, his verses, like breathing in, calming and clearing my mind, breathing out, relaxing and smiling. It's a nice little tool we can resort to anytime. It's simple, but it's not simplistic. Thich Nhat Hanh's an authentic Zen master, scholar, lifetime monk, peace activist, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Martin Luther King in 1976. Thich Nhat Hanh of Vietnam, he knows about 10 languages. This is not diluted, simplistic New Age. It's profound. This breath, only breath. This moment, only moment. What else is there? The future is something we think about in the now. The past is sometimes we conceive about in the now. Nowness awareness is all. The inner lucidity, the presence that animates us, the pure spirit. The spiritual mind, if you want to call it that. In French, the word for mind is esprit. Spirit and mind are conflated or not separate. So it doesn't just mean intellectual thinking mind, but consciousness itself in any state. Yes, consciousness can be aware without thought. Maybe you've experienced it yourself sometimes. Some shocking event happens. Anyway, any questions, please?
Let's see. Ben has a question. How can I deal with a recurring experience of egolessness or emptiness? It's an intense realization that nothing is you. It usually occurs in the middle of the night upon waking and results in anxiety. Am I not ready for this experience?
I is never ready for this experience, Ben. I is the culprit. The ego is never ready to let go, to not be in charge, to not be the sovereign. So I don't know how or why it comes to you that way. I'd even wonder if it's entirely true what you're saying, but just to take it on face value, you experience that in the middle of the night. You wake up suddenly and I don't know, what did Emily Dickinson say in her famous poem? Only 150 years ago, Emily Dickinson, the hermit poetess of Amherst, Mass., said, "I am no one. Are you no one too?" And she goes on with her short poem, but I can't remember, something like, "We should get together and see who's who." That's not her rhyme, that's mine for imitation. I am no one. Are you no one too? That's a serious existential question, isn't it, from a hermit, a woman in the 50s, 70s in Western Massachusetts. If you wake up in the state of selflessness and egolessness, as you said, then that's a moment, perhaps, of selflessness and egolessness. And then when you're aware of it and you're thinking that, and then the ego kicks in and that's an egotistic thought. And then all of a sudden the ego's challenged, afraid of dying, of left behind, of losing its dominion. You see? So it's no longer a moment of egoless or selfless consciousness. The mental factor of selfless awareness has given way to separateness, to the thought of individuality, of separateness. I am that. And that's where the anxiety is. So having explained that, let's say analytically or analyze that conceptually, a practice might be when you feel anxious to inquire, to ask the self-inquiry question, who is anxious right now? Make it as sharp and short as you can. Who's anxious? What's anxious? It might return you to the egoless selflessness for a moment, and then the anxiety, the self might congeal or grasp or grip again, trying to grip. And you cut through it again with the question, who is anxious? Anyway, anxiety is a rich and interesting subject and a psychological issue, even a diagnosis. So I don't know how much you want to go into diagnosis of that kind, but it's important. I often say, press your nose up against the void, the selfless, the egolessness, and if fear arises, that's indicating that it's really the void, because who or what is afraid? It's the ego, it's the separate self, it's the protein morphing, changing congeries of forces that we call ourself that feels challenged by that notion, whatever you described. I forget what you said. Nothing is solid, or there's no solidness or something. It's all empty. Anyway, you said you wake up feeling egoless and selfless, and then anxiety arises. That's the ego, the socialized personality, the separate selfness, self-consciousness coming into play, which we need to function in the world and take care of ourselves as adults, not be dependent children or vegetables in a mental hospital being fed 3 times a day because we can't feed ourselves. That's not the goal. That's insanity. Wisdom is a higher form of sanity, if anything. So I hope that's helpful. There's a few thoughts and a practice to do.
Thank you, Lama.
Like I'm thinking, who or what is this Ben? Who or what does Ben look like? He doesn't look like a Buddha. Anybody else come to mind in this season? Will the real Ben please stand up and shine? See, look at him. Shine. You know what I'm getting at, everybody? We rejoice in this beautiful, Son of God, if you want to call it that.
Now, let me get the attention off me here.
Okay, Ben. Slippery, clever.
Here are some slogans from, I just did the Rains retreat at Plum Village, and they sent these beautiful slogans from Thich Nhat Hanh, because he does calligraphy.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some of the slogans that
he writes.
A little retreat.
Beautiful. Go slow. Go back.
Oh, go back. Okay, didn't get the first. We are already what we want to become.
So it seems to me the Dzogchen Foundation once made some T-shirts and hats that had like our logo on it, or and then some of the slogans. I hope this is in the camera. I can't see the . And then some of the slogans that I used to make up, like "What we seek, we are." Does that resonate? Look what Thich Nhat Hanh's Zen master says. how many times have I said this? What we seek, we are. That's the non-dual, getting from here to totally here path. The direct path of awakening now, not after many lifetimes of enlightenment. Something to think about. What else do we have in this deck? Let's play cards. Son of God. Oh, nice. Yes. This moment, the only moment. Beautiful. That's what I say. Precious moment, present moment. What else do we have, Ben? Very nice. Stop and heal. Very nice. Yes, awareness is curative. Beautiful.
Well, it sure has been a gift, Lama, to spend time with you again today. Thank you so much for your sharing your wisdom and all your years of experience, um, and transmitting everything that you've received and sharing so freely with us. We're very grateful. If you appreciate these teachings, friends, please consider becoming a member and donating to the Dzogchen Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, sons and daughters and others of God.
Peace. Shanti.
Love to one and all. Have a beautiful Sunday of rest, peace, and love and delight. Bye-bye. Thanks.